All right, guys, today, 6.2 reflections. As you can tell, I have some pre-filled out things in this worksheet. So I'm doing this in one shot, one go. So here we go. Definitions, reflection. Reflection is a transformation that uses a mirror-like line to flip an image. When we start doing these, they'll make a lot of sense. They're actually pretty easy. Line of reflection, also known as the LOR, because we're lazy and don't want to, always write that out. That is the mirror-like thing, right? The mirror-like line that the pre-image, also known as the OG image, and the image flip around. Okay, so pre-image, OG image is your old stuff, image is your new stuff, and it flips just like kind of like a mirror, you see your reflection. There are some quick little rules here. So you'll see we're gonna follow the rules, but if you can catch on, you don't always have to use the rules sometimes. So if you're ever reflecting over the x-axis, okay, if you're ever reflecting over on the x-axis, let's say you had a point, right? You had x value, y value. If you have a point in your pre-image, your new point is going to be kind of the same thing. X and y stay at the same spot, but you take the opposite value of y. So if it's positive, you do a negative version. If it's negative, you do the positive version. And you'll see a case of this when we do some examples. If you're reflecting over the y-axis, let's say you have a point x and y, right? What you're going to do is keep the x and y on the same spot, but you're going to take the opposite value for your x. So your x value, if it was negative, you're going to make it positive. If it was positive, you're going to make it negative. And that's going to be your new point. If you're reflecting over y equals x, so that's like a line, it's kind of like a slanted line. We'll go over one of those today. If you had a point, x comma y, you are going to flip it. Not really flip it, but rearrange them. You're going to take the y, put it in the x value, take the x, put it in the y slot, right? So you just kind of flip the x and y around. If you're reflecting over the line y equals negative x, and you have a point x comma y, you're going to change the positions of your x and y and take the opposites. So your x value and y value switch spots, and you're going to take the opposites of both. So if they are negative, you make it positive. If they are positive, make it negative for each one separately. And those are the rules. And again, these rules don't cover all possible reflections. You'll see one of those today. They're just there to kind of help get you guys started. Also important, no matter the line of reflection, your original and their new points must be the same distance from the line of reflection. And that right there, that one little important note is going to help you guys do this by hand, which is a little bit faster than using the rules. You'll see what I mean. So let's kind of jump right into this. For number one, we got some instructions right here. In the first graph, write each point's ordered pairs. I already did that. So really I graphed a triangle for us. A is negative 4, 5. B is negative 4, 1. And C is negative 1, 1. I already listed off my points. You guys will want to do this until you get better at it. Now, what they want to do is they want to color in the y-axis for our line of reflection. I'm going to use this yellow here. So we're going to use the y-axis as our line of reflection. Use a color to really make yourself know that is your line of reflection. So we're going to flip this triangle over that yellow highlighted line, which is also our our y-axis. So we're just going to flip it on over. Now with that said, I'm going to use the rules, but you'll see what you'll see. So we're going to reflect the pre-image over the y-axis. So first we're going to flip it over the y-axis. So here we go. A, right? Just like we said over here, for reflecting over the y-axis, you keep them in the same spot, right? If you have point x, y, same spot, but you take the opposite of the x value. So for A, 4 and 5 stay in its same spot, but instead of a negative 4, I'm going to keep it a positive 4, because that's what happens when you reflect it over the y-axis. B, negative 4, comma 1. I keep those in the same spot, but again, I'm going to take the opposite. It's a negative 4, so I'm making a positive 4, comma 1. And C, again, I'm going to take the opposite for my x. I'm going to make it a positive 1, comma 1. So here are my new points. And notice how I have my A, B, and C, my original 3 points, and then I have A prime, B prime, C prime to show my new points. And then I'm going to graph them. So here we go. The new point A is going to be 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is going to be A prime. B prime. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1. Here's my new B prime. And then C prime is going to be 1, 1. And notice, this looks like it was exactly reflected amongst that y-axis. And it makes sense too, because my A is 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. C is 1 to the left, 1 to the right. B's 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. 1, 2, yeah, 4. So all I did was just go ahead and they're equidistant from the line of reflection. And there we are, we're done. So we did A and we just did B. We just reflected it correctly over the y-axis. Now, in this case, they want us, I'm gonna do green here. They want us to now color on the x-axis, and we're gonna flip it over the x-axis. So again, here's my x-axis. Boo! There we go. I'm gonna flip them over it. And again, over here, if I wanna flip over the x-axis, I'm going to take my points, and I'm going to keep them in the same order, but take the opposite for the y value, okay? Or, I'm gonna show you guys my nifty trick. I'm gonna just do it by hand here, see how you guys like it. So, I'm gonna do A first. A is, and here's my x-axis, A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units above the line. So my new A is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units below the line. And I'm gonna call this A double prime now, because now it's the second time I'm moving it. B is 1 above, so I'm gonna do 1 below. This will be B double prime. C is 1 above, so I will do 1 below. Here's my niece C double prime. So that is how you guys would do it without using the rule. But you still get the same thing. And notice it just looks like it was flipped right over. And just so we can make this official, A double prime, my coordinates are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4, negative 5. B double prime is 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1. And C double prime is right 1, down 1. So C double prime is 1, comma, negative 1. And those are my new points for those. Again, I could have followed my rules too. Notice, from my first flip to my second flip, all the numbers are the same thing. It's just that my y's are an opposite, just like it says up here. So follow rules, do it by hand, whatever one you want to do. Now let's go on to a new example here. All right, so in the second graph, we're going to write each ordered pair. I already did that for my original ones. So A is negative 4, negative 1, B is negative 4, negative 5, and C is negative 1, negative 5. I have all those points right up here already labeled for me. We want to graph and color line of reflection y equals x in this one. I'm going to go ahead and use yellow for this. And we're going to use y equals x as our line of reflection. And we're going to label our new points. Y equals x. Remember, this is kind of like my slope is 1 over 1. And my b is 0, if you guys remember slope-intercept form. So that means I start at 0, up 1, right 1, or down 1, left 1. But this is that line, y equals x, that we're going to be reflecting across. Now, if I want to do that, I'm going to use my rule for this one. My rule is, if you're reflecting over y equals x, if you have a point x, y, all you do is just change the order. Nothing with changing signs or anything like that. Just take them as they is, just flip them around. So if A is negative 4, negative 1, A prime is going to be negative 1, negative 4. If B is negative 4, comma, negative 5, B prime is going to be negative 5, comma, negative 4. Notice I'm just flip-flopping the numbers. That's what my rule says. C, negative 5, comma, negative 1, comma, negative 5. That's going to be negative 5, comma, negative 1. And now I can plot my points. So I'm going to plot my A prime. Negative 1, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is A prime. B prime. B prime. And then C prime is C prime. Now it kind of flipped on top of itself, which is okay. But there we go. That's my line of reflections could go through the object. It makes it look a little weird, right? We're still flipping over that line, but you follow the rules and you'll be fine. And it makes sense too, because if you eyeball it, it's kind of hard because it's on an angle. B going this way to this way, it looks like it's the same distance from that yellow line. My C's, they look like they're the same distance from the yellow line. My A's, same distances from the yellow line. So it worked out perfectly. Now let's go ahead and we're going to do the last one, the third problem. In the third graph, write each point's ordered pair, which I already did. I got A is 2, 5, B is 2, 1, C is 5, 1. There we go. I already pre-filled that out. Now it wants us to graph and color in the line of reflection of x equals negative 1. Ooh, this is gonna be a good one. I'm gonna use yellow for this one again. So x equals 1. So here's my x, here's 1. And again, this is gonna give me a vertical line through it. So this is my line of reflection right here. This yellow line is my line of reflection. I'm gonna flip this triangle over that. Now notice, I have no rules for, I only have x-axis, y-axis, y equals x and y equals negative x. I don't have one for where x equals a number. So I'm going to have to do this one by just straight up being a baller, a gangster at mathematics. So watch this. I'm going to use my knowledge that the line of reflection, every point's going to be equidistant from it. Meaning, if A is 1 to the right of my yellow line, my new A prime is going to be 1 to the left. If B from the yellow line is 1 to the right, I'm going to go 1 to the left. My C is 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, so I'm going to do the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. And notice if I kind of, trace this in here, this looks perfectly reflected over that yellow line. And again, I use no rules, but there you go. I'm just, straight up awesome like that. Now, just to fill in these points real fast, A prime is, well, here's my x is 0, and then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 0, 5. My B, my x is 0, I go up 1, and my C is 1, 2, 3 to the left, -3, and up 1. There we go. There are my points. Again, rewatch this video if you have to. Remember, the rules are awesome. You can use the rules, they'll give you a concrete answer, you plot the points, you're done, right? If you get pretty good at this, you can just use this important that the new points and the old points are always the same distance from the line of reflection, right? Either going up, down, or left or right. Use that knowledge, you can do it just being a gangster. So, rewatch the video if you have to. Have a great day. You guys stay awesome.